So friends, welcome back to the session once again. Today is our 13th day. We have entered in third week, or rather we are closing tomorrow the third week, and today is our 13th session. And in today's session we are going to cover a new topic, and that is fixed income securities. Fixed income securities. I can tell you at this point in time, uh, fixed income securities, invariably people will think as to what is so great about fixed income securities. Uh, it must be a very small aspect of the valuation. And let me tell you, it is not so. The fact is, globally, the size of the equity market is of $120 trillion. So the size of the equity market is $120 trillion. And against this, the size of debt market is $300 trillion. That means what? That means the debt market is 2.5 times bigger in size than the equity market, and which means you can understand the scope for valuation. 300 trillion worth dollars of securities are to be valued year after year, and you can imagine how much work it would involve for the valuation professionals. And that perhaps is the reason that valuation of fixed income securities is an integral part of this course curriculum of valuation exam conducted by IBBI. Now, before we begin, let me give you a heads up in terms of as to what are we going to cover in this session today. तो आज के सेशन में हम क्या क्या कवर करने वाले हैं, मैं आपको थोड़ा सा पहले बता दूं, और ये बताने का आइडिया ये है कि आपके दिमाग में उसके बारे में कुछ कुछ इंक्विजिटिवनेस पैदा हो जाए. And this is called cognitive theory. So कुछ कुछ आपके दिमाग में उत्सुकता पैदा हो, because then it creates a vacuum in your system, and it becomes easy for me to plant the concept that I want to discuss with you in the context of fixed income securities. इससे पहले कि मैं शुरू करूं, मैं आपको ये भी बता दूं कि फिक्स्ड इनकम सिक्योरिटीज को फिक्स्ड इनकम सिक्योरिटी क्यों कहते हैं. वाई द फिक्स्ड इनकम सिक्योरिटीज आर रेफर्ड एज फिक्स्ड इनकम सिक्योरिटी. एंड द आंसर ऑफ कोर्स इज वेरी सिंपल. द आंसर इज in respect of these securities you get a fixed income periodically, and that is why these securities are referred as fixed income securities. Invariably they are debt securities, invariably, and when I say invariably, that means preferential capital is also a fixed income security, but it is not really fixed in that sense of it, in the sense that in case if a company is not making profit, it does not have to pay dividend on the preferential capital. But in case of debt, whether you make profit or you don't make profit, it doesn't really matter. In case of debt, you have to compulsorily pay interest as per the agreed rate of interest on that particular security. And that is what I thought you would like to know and remember, that fixed income securities जो हमारा टॉपिक है आज का, उसको फिक्स्ड इनकम सिक्योरिटीज क्यों कहते हैं, और उसका कारण ये है कि इन सिक्योरिटीज के ऊपर जो इनकम जनरेट होती है वो फिक्स होती है, and that is the reason these are referred as fixed income securities. So what are we going to cover in today's session? Number one, we start with significance of income fixed income securities that I have already mentioned to you just now. Number two, what is a fixed income security? That also I have mentioned to you just now. So a fixed income security is primarily a debt instrument, and on which you get a fixed rate of return, and that is why they are called as fixed income securities. Number three, we will understand what are the key terms, features of fixed income securities. Very important for every one of us to know these key terms, because these key terms are like language of fixed income securities. अगर ये key terms आप समझ जाएं तो फिर आपको fixed income securities को समझना बहुत आसान हो जाता है, and that is what we will do at number three. Number four, types of securities and financial markets. So what is a money market, what is a capital market, what is a derivatives market, what is a debt market, what is a commodities market, what is a foreign currency market, and why a money market is called as a money market and a capital market is called as a capital market, what kind of instruments are part of the money market, what kind of instruments are part of the capital market, and why is that so. That is what we will discuss in today's session. Number 5, types of fixed income securities and bonds. And bonds. Please remember, fixed income securities are also referred as bonds. And let me tell you at this point in time as to why fixed income securities are also referred as bonds. And that is because when someone is issuing fixed income securities, he is entering into a contract with you. That means by signing that contract and issuing these securities to you and taking money from you against those securities, he is signing a bond with you, he is signing a contract with you, and as per that contract, as per that bond, he is under an obligation to pay you interest from time to time and also to redeem the principal on the expiry of the tenure of that particular security. So he is entering into a contract which is a bond, and that is why fixed income securities are also referred as bond. We will understand as to what are the different kinds of fixed income securities, or what are the different kinds of bonds in this session today. Then we would look at and understand the difference between the equity and debt. I am sure all of you are absolutely familiar as to what is the difference between debt and equity instruments. But just for touching few final points, and that is what we will do. At number 7, we will do the treasury bills, what the treasury bills are. Number 8, we will understand something which is known as PTC, pass through certificate or security receipts, and that is what we will understand at point number 8. Point number 9, we will understand something which is known as dirty price. Dirty price. So what is a dirty price? That is what we will understand. And against the dirty price, we will also understand what is a clean price. Clean price, and that is what we will do. Number 10, we would understand what is current yield and how it is calculated. So please remember, not only we will understand what is current yield, we will also understand what is nominal yield and what is the difference between the current yield and the nominal yield and how these are calculated. Number 11, we will discuss how to calculate yield on treasury bills. And please remember what the treasury bills are. Treasury bills are short-term instruments issued by Reserve Bank of India on behalf of the government of India to help the government of India to meet its short-term gaps in its funds requirement. So we will understand as to what the treasury bills are, number 1, and also how to calculate yield on treasury bill, and that is what we will understand. Number 12, we will understand what is realized yield. Realized yield का मतलब क्या है और होल्डिंग पीरियड रिटर्न का मतलब क्या है, और ये दोनों को कैसे कैलकुलेट किया जाता है, that is also we will understand today. Number 13, we will understand what is yield to maturity. And friends, let me tell you, in the context of fixed income security, this term called yield to maturity, or YTM in short, is an extremely important thing that we have to understand as to what is YTM. And not only we will understand as to what is YTM, we will also understand what is the utility of YTM in the context of fixed income securities, and we will also understand as to how to calculate YTM, how to calculate yield to maturity, and how to make use of yield to maturity or YTM for the purpose of decision making in the context of fixed income securities. Number 14, we will understand how to find YTM of a security. Number 15, we will understand what are embedded securities. So remember, the debentures, the bonds that we are talking about, they can be plain vanilla bonds or plain vanilla debenture, and they can also be embedded bond. So what is the meaning of embedded bond? That is what we will understand, and what are the implications of an embedded bond on valuation of such fixed income securities. Number 16, we will understand what is YTP option or YTC option. So YTP is yield to put option, and YTC is yield to call option. So remember, and I can tell you at this point in time, embedded security का मतलब क्या है? Embedded security is a fixed income instrument which has got inbuilt option, and that option can be a put option or that option can be a call option, and that is what is एम्बेडेड सिक्योरिटी, यानी कि वो सिक्योरिटी जिसमें एक ऑप्शन भी इंटीग्रेटेड है, दैट इज नॉन एज एम्बेडेड सिक्योरिटी. सो एम्बेडेड सिक्योरिटीज कैन बी विद पुट ऑप्शन और दे कैन बी विद कॉल ऑप्शन. सो जैसे कि हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं YTM, उसी तरह से हम कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं YTP. YTP यानी कि यील्ड टू पुट ऑप्शन, और YTC that is yield to call option. Yield to call option, that is what we will understand. 17, we will understand what is spot rate and what is a forward rate. Spot rate क्या है और forward rate क्या है, और दोनों में क्या फ़र्क है, इसको हम समझ के लेंगे. I am sure all of you are very much familiar with what spot rate is or what forward rate is, but since we are covering this topic comprehensively, we will understand as to what is spot rate and what is forward rate. Then the 18, we will understand pricing or valuation of a bond. So how to do the valuation of a bond or how to do pricing of a bond. एक bond की प्राइस को कैसे मालूम करेंगे, एक बॉन्ड का वैल्यूएशन कैसे करेंगे, that is what we will understand in today's session. 19, we will understand relationship between price of a bond and the discount rate. यानी कि डिस्काउंट रेट में और एक बॉन्ड की प्राइस में क्या रिलेशनशिप है, तो अगर डिस्काउंट रेट ऊपर जाता है तो बॉन्ड की प्राइस पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा, और डिस्काउंट रेट अगर नीचे जाता है तो बॉन्ड की प्राइस पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा और क्यों होगा, दैट इज व्हाट वी विल अंडरस्टैंड. एंड प्लीज रिमेंबर, as you would recall from our discussion of yesterday, discount rate, cost of capital, minimum rate of return, required rate of return, expected rate of return, target rate of return, YTM, IRR, effective interest rate, all these terms are used interchangeably. Market rate, all these terms are used interchangeably. So when I say discount rate, it also means the market rate, right? So it also means the market rate. So we will understand the relationship between the price and the price of a bond and its discount rate. 20, number 20, we will understand price behavior of a bond. यानी कि जो बॉन्ड है उसकी प्राइस को कौन कौन से फैक्टर इम्पैक्ट करते हैं और वो प्राइस किस तरह से वेरी होती है. एंड रिमेंबर, all this we will understand with the help of examples and illustrations, so that we are able to absorb the concepts in a very simplified manner. Number 21, relationship between YTM यानी कि yield to maturity, coupon rate and the value of a bond में क्या फ़र्क है, क्या रिलेशनशिप है. यानी कि एक बॉन्ड है, उस बॉन्ड की कूपन रेट है, उस बॉन्ड की YTM है यानी कि yield to maturity है, और उस बॉन्ड की जो वैल्यू है, ये तीनों में क्या रिलेशनशिप है, दैट इज व्हाट वी विल कवर इन टुडेज सेशन. 22, we will understand, we will go even further and find out what is the relationship between the market price of a bond, face value of a bond, YTM of a bond and coupon rate of a bond. तो ये जो चार फैक्टर हैं, ये चारों फैक्टर में क्या रिलेशनशिप है, that is what we will understand in today's session. So what is the relationship between the market price, face value, YTM and coupon rate of a bond? ये चारों में क्या रिलेशनशिप है, that is what we will understand. Point number 23, रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन YTM एंड दी बॉन्ड वैल्यू, यानी कि बॉन्ड की जो वैल्यू है और जो YTM है, उन दोनों में क्या रिलेशनशिप है. अगर YTM चेंज होती है तो उसका वैल्यूएशन पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होता है, दैट इज व्हाट वी विल अंडरस्टैंड. पॉइंट नंबर 24, व्हाट इज बॉन्ड ड्यूरेशन एंड व्हाट इज मैकॉले ड्यूरेशन. So we will understand as to what duration is. And let me tell you at this point in time, in the context of fixed income securities, duration का मतलब ये tenure से नहीं है. So many times people tend to misunderstand and misinterpret it, and they think that duration का मतलब है कि bond का tenure क्या है. तो ऐसा नहीं है. The tenure of a bond is different and duration of a bond is डिफरेंट। ये ड्यूरेशन क्या है, इसको कैसे कैलकुलेट करते हैं, इसकी क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है, और इन केस ऑफ फिक्स्ड इनकम सिक्योरिटीज़ में बॉन्ड की ड्यूरेशन का डिसीजन मेकिंग पर क्या इम्पैक्ट होता है, दैट इज़ व्हाट वी विल अंडरस्टैंड. Point number 26, we will understand the duration and what are the factors that will impact duration of a bond. That is what we will understand कि duration क्या है, और जो अलग अलग फैक्टर्स हैं जो कि बॉन्ड को की ड्यूरेशन को इम्पैक्ट करते हैं, वो फैक्टर कौन कौन से हैं, दैट इज व्हाट वी विल अंडरस्टैंड. 27, compute bond duration. 28, utility of bond duration. 29, properties of bond duration. Point number 30, why a bond's TTM is term to maturity and duration are same in case of zero coupon bond. तो याद रखिए, जीरो कूपन बॉन्ड का मतलब क्या है. जीरो कूपन बॉन्ड का मतलब है वो बॉन्ड जिनके ऊपर कुछ इंटरेस्ट पे नहीं होता है, और ये जीरो कूपन बॉन्ड आर ऑल्सो नोन एज डीप डिस्काउंट बॉन्ड. डीप डिस्काउंट बॉन्ड. सो वील अंडरस्टैंड कि ये जो डीप डिस्काउंट बॉन्ड है उनका जो TTM है, टर्म टू मैच्योरिटी है, और उनका जो ड्यूरेशन है वो सेम होता है, और अगर सेम होता है तो सेम क्यों होता है, दैट इज व्हाट वी विल अंडरस्टैंड. Point 31, what is modified duration? So duration can also be modified, and what is the use of modified duration, that is what we will understand. And point number 32, what is credit rating? Please remember in the context of fixed income securities, credit rating plays very important role, because invariably or statutorily also, whenever a company is coming out with a debt instrument, it is mandatory on the part of that company to get that instrument credit rated from a recognized credit rating agency. So what is credit rating and how the credit rating is carried out by a company, that is what we will understand. Point number 33, what are the risk assessment factors considered in assigning credit rating? तो क्रिसिल है, इकरा है, स्टैंडर्ड एंड पुअर है, मूडीज है, और डन एंड ब्रैड स्ट्रीट है. तो ये सारी कंपनियां हैं जो कि क्रेडिट रेटिंग करती हैं. तो ये कंपनियां क्रेडिट रेटिंग करने के लिए, किसी भी कंपनी की क्रेडिट रेटिंग करने के लिए, उस कंपनी के कौन कौन से फैक्टर्स को ध्यान में रखती हैं, कौन कौन से फैक्टर्स को एनालाइज करती हैं, स्टडी करती हैं, और उसके बेसिस पर क्रेडिट रेटिंग देती हैं. तो दैट इज ऑल्सो वी विल अंडरस्टैंड. एंड फाइनली पॉइंट नंबर 34, credit rating agencies operating in India. So we'll also talk about 10 credit rating agencies that are operating in this country and doing the job of credit rating for various corporates across the length and width of the country. So friends, this is the agenda that we have for today, and this is what we are going to continue for today.